Another game, another loss, this time by a score of 3-0 last night in Chicago versus the Chicago Fire. Wins are difficult to come by for CF Montreal as of late, and so are goals. They have been shut out in their last 4 games. They haven't scored a goal in 12 of 22 games they've played thus far this season. Why can't they score? Is it on the forwards? Is it on the 10s? Is it on the game identity, the philosophy? Is it the way they play? Is it the way they train? What is it exactly? Do they have to change formation? Who's bringing it? Who's not? One guy who can tell the difference and will tell us how you score goals is former Montreal Impact striker, former Canadiens men's national team striker, Ali Gerba of Complete Striker Center in Mirabel. He joins me next, right here on the Sick Podcast, CF Montreal Talk.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to the Sick Podcast. CF Montreal Talk.
Here's the chance. They've got the goal. Absolutely incredible. Cameron Porter delivers the goal to send Montreal Impact into the CONCACAF Champions League semi-final.
The sickest CF Montreal podcast. It's gonna be sick.
On this Thursday, July 13, it is just past 9:15 p.m. I'm Marinaro. We're live on YouTube, live on Twitter, and you can follow us on our Twitter handle at SickPodCFMTL. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, please do so. And by the way, it is absolutely free. Ali Gerba is going to join us in about a minute to talk about CF Montreal's loss last night in Chicago by a score of 3-0, pretty much 11 minutes into the game. It was already a done deal as the Chicago Fire were up by a score of 2-0. 33 minutes in, it was 3-0. Montreal had a chance to narrow the lead, of course, as you can see, with a penalty kick that was awarded to them. Lassiter was the guy who was chosen to take it, which was an interesting decision by Coach Losada, and he rings it right off of the right post. Once again, if we can bring up that score sheet, we'll show you that it was Gutierrez 9 minutes in, and of course, it was Haile Selassie at the 11th minute, and it was Shaqiri. This one here was a beautiful goal. Shaqiri, who steps up to take the free kick. He plays it short. He gets it back, and on the run, bang, he hammers one with his left foot into the right top corner. I'm sure it's a goal that Ali Gerba must appreciate because he himself had a cannon of a shot. He's back with us right now for the second time right here on the Sick Podcast, CF Montreal Talk. I believe it's the second time. Ali, how are you?
I'm good, Tony. How you doing?
I'm doing extremely well. I know you're a very busy guy, so you might want to put yourself on Do Not Disturb right now, Ali, because if someone calls you, I'm going to end up losing you, and I don't want to lose you because I would imagine we're going to have a very interesting conversation tonight. Ali, things haven't gone all that well for CF Montreal as of late. A team that had found themselves in a playoff spot now is out of a playoff spot. Last night, it was a 3-0 loss in Chicago. The game before that, it was a 1-0 loss at home versus Atlanta United. I know you know that because you got front row seats, my friend, so you were there. The game before that, on home field, once again, another 1-0 loss, this to New York City FC. And the game before that, it was a scoreless draw at Charlotte. So now make it 4 games in a row. CF Montreal haven't scored. Ali, the entire city is wondering, why can't they score goals? So I figured I'd pick up the phone and call someone who knows how to score goals, who did score goals with the Canadiens men's national team, with the Montreal Impact, with every team that he ever played. He was so good at it that he actually opened up a center called Complete Striker in Mirabel so he can teach our players from Quebec how to score goals. Ali, why aren't they scoring goals?
Oh my God, Tony, that's a good question because you know what, we talked about it last time about identity of this team right now. I don't think that I see any identity of how they're gonna score goal because it's gonna be a miracle when a player do something and score a goal. You saw the last game them couple of times, and the player they find themselves in a good position to finish. Me has a ex forward before, couple of a chance, then they should have hit it right away or come back like Torres have a good chance. Then he went a breakaway instead of cutting back to be able to get on his right foot and have an open, better angle. He shot with his left foot and the ball went across. Zachary Baudrillard did the same thing. So the ball was on his left instead of hitting it one time. You see then a lot of those guys, they don't have a confidence in front of the net right now. When you see them play, a lot of those guys in front of the net, they don't have that confidence.
Ali, it's a good point that you make. I've noticed when you talk about they don't have that confidence in front of the net and they're taking wrong decisions. I also find, Ali, that there's a lot of players on the team that don't have confidence in their second foot. You brought up a couple of examples with players with the ball on their second foot, and instead of striking it, they're looking to put it on their right foot. And the time that you take to put it on your strong foot, sometimes that's the difference between scoring the goal or not scoring a goal. I was extremely rattled, not this game, last game, but the game before. Sanusi got in behind the defender, had the ball on the left wing, and instead of placing the ball, hitting it with his left foot, placing it into the far right corner, the way Ali Gerba teaches forwards to do, he actually turned his body a bit to hit it with his right toe. And he missed the net. And I'm like, he doesn't have a lot of confidence in his second foot. And Ali, I can say this because my boys have worked with you on many, many occasions. Ali Gerba, and I'm going to give away one of your trade secrets here, and I hope you don't mind. I know you don't because you tell everyone. Ali Gerba's rule of thumb: outside the box, you hit it. Inside the box, you place it. And for those who are unaware what placing means, it's almost like making a pass, but making it into the corner of the net. That's what you're doing. Ali, I find that a lot of players don't have confidence in their second foot.
I'm agree with you, because you know what? Even off season, even myself, I used to find time to go and train that. You know what? It's not those things. And the coach, I cannot blame the staff or anybody. Is first of all, you have to take care of your. You know what? Bring your money is to score goals. So after the off season or during the season, you have to find the time to train that. It doesn't come that way, because when time they're rough, you have to go back to your security. What is that inside of a foot? So that's why you make sure that when you hit that ball, you know how to hit it well. You have that confidence all the time. And I don't see them today, even when you see those professionals, they don't give that time to go and train that. I used to be there early at training and leave the ladies at training. Why? I wanted to be able to be the best at doing that inside of a foot, placing the ball.
Ali, you know, it's rather simplistic and rather basic, but I think we take for granted that players know how to kick a ball and strike a ball really well, when sometimes, like you said, they probably haven't done it in a long time, or they've probably never been taught. I've been seeing a common denominator, a constant throughout the beginning of the season. There are a lot of players that when they're shooting the ball, they are skying the ball. And I'm no expert, but I know after doing many sessions or watching you do a lot of sessions with your young strikers, I know that a lot of it has to do with body posture and either chest up or head over the ball. And I'm seeing that a lot of those balls that are being skied is because the chest is up, the ball's being skied, when actually the real way you're supposed to hit it is you're supposed to put the head down and get over that ball. I know you would be able to show us this on a field, but can you be able to explain it here live right now on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, to the Sick Podcast, CF Montreal Talk? Can you do that?
But you know what? It's very basic. I say basic, but it's difficult because when you never been taught about it, a lot of players, they come to my center at Mirabel and they try to be like, I know how to shoot. I'm like, you don't know how to shoot. Even me, I learned that very late, how to learn how to shoot. So when they go and try to laces the ball with the laces, and most of the time, I'm like, even the best in the world, you don't see them lacing the ball because those balls now, they're different, very light, and they travel very fast. So when you're going to shoot the ball, you have to make sure that your body is low. That means that your chest is very low, so you can control that ball to not lifting up. And the second of all, when you hit that ball, you have to make sure that people, most of the kids, they watch the goal. I'm like, you cannot look at the goal and hit the ball at the same time. Your eyes are not that quick. So most of the time, I tell them you have to look at the ball the whole time. 80% of my goal, I never even see that the ball went in the net. The time for me to lift my head, that ball was already in the net. So I always tell them, you don't need to look at your ball. You don't need to look at the goal. You need to look at the ball. When the ball is on the floor, you want to make sure that you hit it with the right technique until the end. Until that ball lifts your foot, that's why you lift your head now.
Yeah, Ali, if I can, I would imagine, though, having said that, before you get the ball, before you strike the ball, that's when you take a picture of either the net or your surroundings, knowing where the net is. You've scanned it already. You know where it is. And then the second you get it, that's when you have to try and release it off your foot as quickly as possible. If you're going, and I know this is why you like placing the ball too, if you're going to take the full wind up and the space is being closed and someone's on you, that ball could easily be stopped, deflected. But if you have a very quick movement, bang, like that, and just placing it right away, that could be the difference between scoring and not scoring.
You come and teach at my school anytime, Tony.
No, I'm not qualified for that, but I you know what, I have gone to the park a lot and watched my young one do it hours and hours and hours per day. And so I think I know a little bit about scoring. Ali, it's very important for me to get you on today because if this was just a one-off, it's not a one-off. The last time I had you on, CF Montreal was going through very difficult times. In the first 7 games of the season, they lost 6 of them. They won 1 game. They were down 2-1 in stoppage time. They were playing 11v10. They were able to score a couple of goals at the Olympic Stadium versus the Philadelphia Union. They come back and win that game by a score of 3-2. But they had 1 win and 6 losses, if I'm not mistaken. I believe they had lost 6 of their first 7, and they were shut out in 6 of those games. And I know that at the time you were very concerned with the playing identity. After that, they were able to weather a storm. They got some games at home, maybe versus some opponents that were beatable. They were able to get some wins under their belt. They were able to weather that storm. To their credit, they were able to get themselves in a playoff spot. But now it looks like what happened at the beginning of the season is happening again. Of course, one part we can understand. The best striker on this team, Romel Kyoto, has been hurt for the last 2 months, and they're really starting to feel the absence of Kyoto. Talk to me about what he brings to the team, and talk to me about the strikers that are left on that team. And they just acquired Opoku. So you have Opoku, you have Toy, you have Ofer, you have Sanusi, and you have Vilsain. Can you begin to break down everyone's game for me and tell me who out of all the forwards you see something in and you would have on your list in order of preference?
Oh, that's a good question. First of all, Roberto Kyoto, what I like about him is a free spirit. You know what? As a forward, first of all, you need to have that free spirit, have that imagination on the field. He have that. Have that little flair of the net. He have that. You know what? The guy come, play like he was in the park. He play with passion. I love that. I love to see him play.
He's got swag too, right? He's got swag, right? He doesn't look like a robot on the field. He looks like a guy who goes out there and he kind of does what he wants. I mean, he knows what the system is, but he the things he likes to do, he will do them.
Exactly. So he's a guy that I like a lot. So when I see him play, you know what? Me, I like good football. So when I see him play, he just give me that little, you know what? He give me the joy to go there and enjoy my game because I know anytime he can do something. So I like him, and you see that now the team is start missing him more and more, and we're not gonna blame again like you know what? MLS is a special league. You can win 4 games, you can lose 4 games, and you find yourself on the playoff. So for me, I'm not worried about the team they're gonna be on the playoff or not. You know what? Me, most of the time, I'm worried about the identity of the team. Even when he come back, he cannot pull miracle from himself. So he have to have a team. You know, last year they have a team that you know what they was playing as a team. Today it's always like, oh yeah, we lost a game after the 10 minutes. Why the team doesn't know what they're gonna do on that field, and it look like so when the difficult time come, sometimes because of you know why Chouanier has been very good. So sometimes the player will decide to put the team on his back. It's not gonna happen most of the time. So when it come to other forwards, you know I like Toys a little bit because you know what, he's a little bit more mobile. You know what he do? The thing is, most of them they have the same problem. Be calm in front of the net. As a forward, you have to have a cold blood. You cannot be excited. You cannot be too mad because the coach didn't play you. You cannot have that emotion running through your head. You have to be very, very composed in front of the net.
Ice in the veins.
Big time.
Yeah.
You don't. It doesn't need to be affected by any type of emotion in front of the goal. So that's your job. So other forward, the new ones, you know what? For me, I saw last game. I saw some little glimpse of what he can do. So we're gonna give him a benefit of a doubt to be like, you know what? I want to see how he play with this team because before he come here, I think then he was a little bit on and off. But I want to see
you're talking about Opoku, obviously,
Opoko,
from
yes,
LAFC. Yes.
yes, Opoko. So I see him then, you know, he came, he showed me a little bit of glimpse of certain things. So I hope he's just not going to get frustrated because the ball is very rare with CF Montreal in front.
Okay.
So,
Olfer, Sanusi, and Vilsain. Give me a
yes.
scouting report.
Vilsain, I think then, you know what, he have a lot of things on his mind right now. So every time then he came, you see then you have a blazing speed. He can do things very quick, but I see then, you know what, is the I don't know if it's a team or the environment start getting on his head. So even as a player, like I told you, you cannot be affected by that. You have a good talent, and I'm a little bit on my hunger with him. I want to see what he can do because me, he have one of the best potential to be able to be a good forward because he move very well. You know, you see then you have that little movement, that little swag of a forward.
All right. So this is interesting. He has the swag of a forward. He has the speed. He has the pace. He has the movement. He has the shot. But you see him thinking too much on the field. Is that it?
Yes.
Could that be maybe you don't get a lot of minutes, and so
Exactly.
when you get in, you absolutely want to do everything the
Too
coach
much.
wants you. I got it. Okay. And your advice would be to him,
Don't worry about nothing. Do your job. Your job is you come in the game. They give you 1 minute, you have to take it. They give you an hour, you have to take it. They give you 30 minutes. Don't worry.
you're jamming up here. This is
Yeah.
technology. This is what it is. Okay, I think we got you back. Did we get you back? If not, if you're on Wi-Fi, Ali, put yourself on data, and it's going to fix everything. Okay, you blocked up a little bit.
Your magic. That's what they're
No.
paying you for.
All right. Okay, now we're good. Okay, you were saying.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay.
No, I'm still on it.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. No, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here, Ali. You had blocked up. You jammed up for a minute there, but you were saying just block everything out.
So,
take whatever minutes they give you, and just do your job.
that's it. You know what? That's what it is. Because when you see go ahead.
In your opinion, out of the forwards that are there, with the exception of a couple of established players like you talked about, like Kyoto and Opoku, You're saying one of the highest potentials on the team, one of the highest potentials as forwards is him.
Yes.
Okay. Ofer.
I've been very disappointed because of its physique. I was expecting a lot when he came because I'm like, you know what, a big, tall guy. You know what, we're gonna be able to play. He's gonna be able to hold the ball down for us. Make sure then we get him a lot of crosses so he can finish. Most of the time, he got into good position. Like last game I saw, I think he kicked the ball out of the stadium. You know, his finishing was bad. His taking of decision wasn't the greatest. So I got a little disappointed because somebody of his physique, it should be a nightmare for a defender to be able to defend on him. And I don't see a lot of things. Every time that he came in front of the ball, it was a bad choice of foot handling and just kicking wild. They have a one volley. Then I remember. Then I'm like, how did he take that decision to hit it with his laces instead of hitting it with the inside of his foot? So it's one of the forward, and I've been very disappointed because I was hoping with his buddy, he's gonna bring us a lot of things.
Sanusi Ibrahim.
Sanusi has been doing his job. You know what? He came on a couple of minutes. He's been scoring. You know what? I don't think that he's on his best shape, to be honest with you. I can understand and you have a lack of, maybe you would like to have more game time. But every time he came, he you know what? He did his job as a substitute. So I don't have much to say because, to be fair enough, I don't think that I see him in so many games to be able to do a difference.
All right. Okay. There was an important part of the game yesterday. They're down 3-0. If the first half is over 3-0, the game is over. But they're awarded a penalty kick on a play that was initiated by Mason Toye. Okay?
Yes.
I want you to listen to Coach Losada last night at the end of the game. He was asked to explain his decision of his penalty kick taker, who ended up being Ariel Lassiter. Let's listen carefully.
Toujours à la base de l'11 qui commence, un classement, numéro 1, numéro 2, numéro 3. Ariel, il a déjà frappé penalties dans notre équipe et il était avec la confiance de frapper. Le numéro 2, je pense que c'était Zach et le numéro 3, c'était Gabri. Simplement ça. Dans chaque match, il a un responsable, le numéro 1, le numéro 2, le numéro 3. Et dans ce match-là, c'était Ariel.
All right, there you have it. Translation, every game, I base myself on who my starting 11 is going to be in terms of my penalty kick takers. A ranking of top 3, Lassiter was number 1. He's taken penalty kicks before in his career, and he has the confidence to take them. Number 2 was Zachary Broguillard. Number 3 was Gabriele Corbo. It's interesting because, for the most part, it's offensive players that take penalties. For the most part, we know that defenders have taken them in the past. Broguillard is a right back. Corbo is a center back. Lassiter is a guy that we were told is a second forward, but he has played wing back for most of this season. He can also play wing as well. But it was a play that was initiated by Toye. If you were a player on that field yesterday, and, for example, you start the play, and there's a handball or there's a foul off of you, and it's a penalty kick is awarded. You do what? What are you expecting?
For me, I would take the penalty shot anytime. But
that I know, but I wanted to hear from you. You would take the ball, you'd bring it, boom, you take the penalty kick, and you do your thing. I hear you, but how do you see this? The explanation that, the starting 11, I go with the top 3, Lassiter's there, because one of the things I was thinking of, I'm going to tell you exactly what I was thinking of, okay? Just my opinion here. You've been shut out going into that game 11 times in 21 games. You've been shut out 3 games in a row. Your strikers have very little confidence right now. This is an opportunity to put your strikers in confidence. Either Mason Toy can take it, or if you want, Opoku just arrived. He scored 7 goals last. You want him to be in confidence? You give it to Opoku and you ask him to take it. Ali, I think we're having a technical issue. Are you jamming up again? Put yourself on data if you can. Let's bring Ali to the green room if we can. Can we bring him to the green room? Okay. We're having a technical difficulty with Ali Gerba. We're gonna try to fix it. And when it's fixed, at that point, we're gonna bring him back in. But once again, I thought it was interesting that Lassiter takes that penalty kick. Look, they probably would have lost anyway. But there's a difference between being down 3-1 and being down 3-0 at halftime. When you miss a penalty kick too, just brings everyone down. The confidence goes down and all that stuff. And, I just think that if you make a striker take it, doesn't mean, by the way, that if a striker would have taken it, that they would have scored. But if you make a striker take it, let me just see if I can fix this whole thing with Ali here, huh? Okay. If you make a striker take it and they end up scoring a goal, at that point, once again, the striker has confidence. You've narrowed the lead. You're back in the game. It's 3-1. Who knows? Maybe you get a 3-2 goal. Maybe you get a 3-2 goal before halftime. And now all of a sudden you got a game. Instead, they're down. And you're already thinking about Saturday night's game. And you're saying, you know what? This game's over. Let's start making some changes. And those are the changes, right? At the 46th, at halftime, right? Wanyama went out. Piet came in. This was probably predetermined to give him numbers, of course. Duke came out. Herrera came in. Corbo came out. Ofer came in. And you're already thinking of resting some guys who are going to play on Saturday when you host Charlotte here in Montreal, Saturday night at 7:30. So that was a big look. For sure, going down 2-0 after 11 minutes with the inability to score goals, especially in the last 3 games before this, I think a lot of people in the fan base were saying, you know what? This game is over. I would imagine that that's what they were saying. But that was a big part of the game. Let's see if we have Ali back. Ali, do we have you back?
Yes.
All right,
So,
okay. Don't worry about
the
it.
bad weather.
Okay, I can understand that. Today was absolutely awful. Montreal, of course, and the surrounding areas were hit with a tornado watch. And ultimately, I don't think we had the tornado. But, man, it's one of the worst things I've heard in a long, long time. Okay, Ali, I was saying, I know you would have taken the ball. You would have taken the penalty kick. But how do you view this, that the coach made Lassiter take it? Opoku's playing with you for the first time. You got Toy, who initiated everything. I would have given it to one of them. Put one of your strikers at least in confidence. Try and get them on the board. Your thoughts?
But you know what? I can understand why the coach made that decision because, it's the body language. You see them, you're forward, they're not having a good day or they're not being with that much confidence. I can understand. The guy with the most confidence have to go and step it up and do what he can do. So me, I don't see anything because the penalty was well taken.
I hear you. Okay, listen, a penalty anyone can miss, so we're not going to harp on that, okay? But now, the inability to score goals, all right? Ultimately, there has to be a responsible. Do you put it on the forwards? Do you put it on the 10s? Do you put it on the way they play? Out of all the factors and all the players, who is most responsible, in your opinion? Which sector for CF Montreal's inability to score goals? Once again, they haven't scored in 12 of 22 games. The weather again, huh? It's going to be it's one of those nights, I guess. Wow, geez, that's too bad. Ali, do you hear me? Or do we have you or the weather? No, Mother Nature tonight doesn't want us to talk, I guess. I see Ali trying to move his lips. No, it's one of those nights. Unfortunately, it looks like it's not going to happen. That's too bad. Let's give it another second here. We'll see if Ali can join us again. I would have thought, this is why, by the way, my signal, I'm wired, okay? But maybe that doesn't change anything. Maybe that's got nothing to do with it. Maybe his area where he's living, it's probably a little bit worse than where I am right now. I have no idea how these things work. For now, I'm just, I'm babbling. What can I tell you? Let's see. Agnello and Sammy are trying to.
Hello?
Yes.
Sorry again. I don't have a direct line with me in Mother Nature.
No, I understand that, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to send over that 5K e-transfer after this collaboration because because it's not working out here. Okay, Ali.
Yes.
So now that we got you back, if you have to look at one department, look at one area, look at one person, look at one position, the forwards, the tens, the style of play. What is this on? This inability to score goals, blanked in 12 of 22 games. Who's it on?
Me, I would say first is the lack of you know what? This team have no, how can I say it? Identity. The ball doesn't go a certain way in front. Secondly, I'm like, you know what?
You know what I see, Ali? I see a lot of long balls. And they're just trying and trying and trying and trying. And if they get through, they get through. And if they don't, they just continue to try and try. And there's something that's not working, and they keep trying to do that same thing over and over and over again. And there's a stat that's interesting, Ali. When they have possession of the ball more than the opponent, they've lost every game.
Because they don't know how to deal with the ball. Correct. Because they have no idea where to go. Because since the last game, I don't see any type of change will make me believe. Then you know what? They have a little solution where how they're gonna start fixing things. I know Pietri is coming back, but you know what? To establish that midfield maybe. But I'm waiting to see when they're gonna do something to make this team play better football. Ali, and for the forward,
based on the personnel that they have, should they change the formation? It's either a 3-4-1-2 or a 3-4-2-1. But here's the problem, Ali. If no 10 has stepped up until now, and with all due respect to the players that they have, there is not one that has grabbed the bull by the horns and ran with it. If no 10 has stepped up, then why play with one?
What else they have has a choice?
Why wouldn't you go to the 3-4-3?
Even that, you still have an idea of how you want to play it. Even if you change formation, whatever, regardless, you have to have a basic of what they asked you to do when you have that ball. You can have that ball with different formation you want, but you still, the end result going to be long ball and whatever. It doesn't change anything. You know what? And plus that, have some forward, then they cannot put the ball in the net.
So what would be your formation? And now I know what you're saying right now. You're saying it's not a question of formation. It's a question of the way they practice, the habits they have, the identity hasn't kicked in. It sounds like you're disappointed in the coaching.
I've been disappointed, and I don't know how to let my feeling known. So it's nothing that I hate the club. I just want to criticize. You know what? I love this because last year I enjoyed my soccer. I enjoyed my time being there as a fan because, boy, the game was beautiful. You know what? But one is not a good product. It could be like, you know what? I don't like what you see. If you agree or disagree with me, it's okay. It's a matter of opinion. So because we hear talking about the club, that means we hate the club. I adore that club. But when I see something doesn't work, I can be able to sit and maybe people, they can look at it and be like, oh, maybe let us try something or do something new to have a different result, because since day one, this team didn't show me then, you know what, they're gonna do a tactical change who's gonna make me believe that they're going to the right direction. I know that some of the players they've been injuring, now they're coming back, and some of them they've been very quality players. So I'm waiting again. I'm still waiting to see the full squad on, and to see if I still have that. They still have that problem.
You know, Ali, we know because Olivier Renard has told members of the media that the way they played over the last couple of years under Wilfred Nancy prior to this year is a style of football that he wanted. And the formation that he wanted and the style of football that he wanted. The formation is the same. It's a 3-4-1-2 or if it's a 3-4-2-1. But the style of football is completely different. And I'm convinced that if Olivier Renard, like you, who loved the way they played last year, and like me, I don't think he loves the way they're playing this year. And as a matter of fact, I think he said it about a month ago. He said something that they're still not playing the way I want them to, but let's see how it goes here, and we'll have time to tackle it. Well, time is going on, and it doesn't look like they're changing the way they play. It doesn't look like they have an identity. And as long as you get wins and you make the playoffs, for some, it's going to be good enough. But when you don't get the wins, and should you not make the playoffs, well, then no one's going to be happy. In the meantime, there is a good news. They're selling out. Good for them. I like to see that. But I'm worried, man. I'm really worried that if they don't change the way they play, if they don't start scoring goals, and if they don't up the entertainment value, those loyal fans might not be going to every game. And I don't want to see that. It has to stop now.
I'll be there. Tony, you'll be there. We just have that on the blood, so we're gonna be there. And you know what? This is our job, to support our team. So to show up every day and encourage the team, cheer them on. But we know then when we see something then it doesn't work, you know what? We just have to let our opinion hear. So that's all.
Romel Kyoto, by the way, should be back. He's been in Honduras with his recovery. We've seen him on social media. He's a little bit here, there, and everywhere. He should be back in the next 2 weeks, we've been told, as a matter. And by the way, not so sure what's happening, but Matko Miljevic basically put up an Instagram post saying merci with a heart. Who knows what that's all about, but here's a player who's having a hard time getting into the lineup, a player that was identified to be the player that would take over from Georgi Mihailovic's position after Mihailovic left for the Netherlands. It hasn't happened yet, and who knows what that post is all about. But this is the beauty of sports. Tomorrow, the sun will rise. It's another day. We'll find out a little bit more. And as much as they're struggling and have in the last 4 games, on Saturday night, they get to go out and a couple of goals and a win, and everyone will forget about it. And next week, we'll be singing a different tune. Ali Gerba, complete striker out of Mirabel. Thank you very much. Former Montreal Impact player and 15 goals in 31 games with the Canadiens men's national team. That's a pretty impressive stat. It's better than your Wi-Fi. We'll talk to you soon. See you, Ali.
Thank you very much.
All right, there you have it. Ali Gerba, thanks for watching. Tell your friends about it. You can follow us on YouTube. It's absolutely free. And check us out on Twitter at SickPod, CFMTL. I'm Marinaro. Have a great night.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast, CF Montreal Talk on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.